The Hyundai Casper is a small city runabout designed specifically for Korea's younger, upwardly mobile buyers. But it has received much love and acclaim the world over, and demand too. The Casper is not a hatchback, not really an SUV, but still gets the kind of attention that SUVs are now used to. It is the design that really appeals on this car. It's a very big departure from what Hyundai has done in the past, and it's very urban and yet absolutely on point with the kind of trend we see globally. The Casper is an urban car, and so while a compact footprint was important, it also needed to look very modern and stylish with a distinct character and identity. There's been a lot of glamour about it in India, especially since models like the Maruti Suzuki Espresso, but more so, the Tata Punch have really opened up a new segment. It has two engine types in the Korean market, both petrol, though the designers told me its platform can take on electrification or diesel solutions without a problem. This is derived from the same K1 platform that gives us the Hyundai Santro and even the Grand i10 Neos and Aura sedan. The more frugal variant of the Casper has the 998cc Smart Stream 3-cylinder engine that makes 76 horses, and it only has an automatic transmission. The Turbo is the more powerful offering with 100 horses and substantially more torque, but I begun my drive with the Smart Stream variant. So first experience driving the Casper, and yes, everybody who thinks that this could be the perfect car for our market is right in terms of the packaging and in terms of its drivability. The Casper is 3,595 millimeters long, making it shorter than the Grand i10 Neos, Santro, and of course the Tata Punch too. Its wheelbase is generous for a car of this overall size. It has a width of just 1,600 millimeters. Again, that's 80 millimeters narrower compared to the Grand i10 Neos. And the height, of course, is a lot more at 1575 mm. The Casper is for the Korean market, and there are demands all over the world ever since the pictures first broke for other markets who also want the car. The reason, I think, is because of how it looks. Now, the designers tell me that the whole intention here was to make a car that looked happy, that looked friendly, and that makes you smile. And you have to say that this design certainly does that. Very unconventional styling up front if you think about Hyundai's design, and yet it's very modern, it's very much in keeping with the new generation and what a lot of younger buyers would want. So, indicators up top, very different use of DRL here, unlike the other cars again from the portfolio. Headlamp down there. This one is the Turbo, so you've got the air intakes, which are also very playfully, very obviously put into that front grille. I like that. Now, it is an SUV look, and so you've got a very chunky, muscular, yet very compact design. So even though overall the length sits below 4 meters, the wheelbase is nice. It's 2,400 millimeters, which is pretty ample considering the size of this car overall. Now, you've got a little bit of that cladding here, which gives you that SUV feel, a little notch, very chunky, sporty looking wheel design, the roof rails, and as you come around to the back, there's a nice little design element here. It's a little happy face, and that's supposed to be Casper, if you will, because again, as the design team says, it wants the car to be your friend. I mean, they really want it to be someone rather than something to you. At the back is, I think, where it has its most distinct visual identity. Very different use of taillight treatment. It's actually flush and integrated into the tailgate. And then you've also got these playful round elements to complement the front. So very, very different, very distinct character in terms of styling. Inside too, the Casper is nothing like the other Hyundai SUVs or compact hatches. Yes, the screen and its interface will be similar to those, but the layout and design of the overall cabin is very individual. The theme is young and sporty with a fun and vibrant feel. The cabin is surprisingly roomy, though the rear seats are best for 2 big adults or 3 teens at best. The car comes with many safety features including ISOFIX and airbags,
and even some ADAS on the higher trims. The instrument cluster is fully digital and the touchscreen comes with connectivity and entertainment options that you'd expect, along with a very intuitive navigation system here in Korea.
100 meters, turn right toward Kintex. Be careful not to take the wrong road.
I like that.
Since there are 2 iterations of the Casper in Korea, like I said, I'm glad I got to drive both engine types on the roads of Seoul and also out on the highway too. The Casper 1-liter Kappa TGDI is the turbo. It's quick, surprisingly agile, and the 2 variants are distinctly different in their feel. Both cars get the same 4-speed automatic transmission though.
There's an obvious difference in character between the 2 cars. I'm glad I got a chance to drive both the SmartStream as well as the Kappa engine. The one with the turbo, no doubt, is more powerful. And it's more powerful not just in terms of the figures on paper. Sure, it's 76 versus 100 horses on this one, but you can tell that in the performance right away. This one is zippier, the response is a lot nicer, and the steering also feels nice and tight. That's the part that also will surprise you, because typically on small cars like this, the steering tends to feel really light and sort of disconnected. Not the case on the Casper.
That's great, because many a times small cars like these feel very dull and have no character on the road. It was good to see a certain engagement between the driver and road that comes through on the Casper. Points to the engineering team for getting that right.
Now, while the Casper is designed very intentionally for younger buyers, it's also very specifically for city dwellers. It's very urban. So the compact footprint, the ease of maneuverability, these were real high points in terms of its driving dynamics. And I have to say, the part that surprises me, given its small footprint, is its ride quality.
The Casper gets 2 drive modes, normal and sport. And while the drive is a lot more responsive in sport, normal is not sluggish either. Surprisingly, there's no eco mode, which is something worth considering if it can make a huge difference to mileage numbers. There are traction modes like on the other Hyundai SUV models, snow, mud and sand, that vary torque to the wheels. There's no all-wheel drive version of the Casper on the cards, and EV, though, is very likely. The Casper is unlikely to come to us in this exact form, since the Indian market has its own intricacies. But given the success of the Tata Punch, which is larger, Hyundai is eyeing the space very keenly. So, expect a Casper-like model to come in between the 6.5 and 8.5 lakh rupee price point. That could also get a slightly pricier electric version. This also means the second generation Hyundai Venue will become slightly larger and more premium when it arrives around 2024. That would then create a space for a model like the Casper to come in below it as the entry SUV for India. Do you agree? And would you buy such a car around 6.5 or 7 lakh rupees? Tell me by inboxing me at Sid Patankar on Twitter or on Instagram.